Is everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Coach, we'll just throw it to you for an opening statement.
Well, like I said, very fortunate to get a big win last week against Kent State. It's a great football game, very exciting. I thought both teams played really hard. Just a huge credit to our players. Down 14-0 in the first quarter, down 28-17 in the third, and then down 35-23 in the fourth. I think it says a lot about how hard our guys are playing and how much resiliency they have to keep coming back from double-digit deficits with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And we've been involved in a lot of tight games this year. In football, you talk about it being a game of inches and a game of seconds. And by 6 inches and 5 seconds, we found a way to win that football game. So, it certainly does a lot for the morale of the team, a lot for the confidence. And now we got to get ready to go play Ball State at Ball. I think it's always tough to win on the road in the MAC conference. We look at Ball, and they're not that much different than we are. People will say the record, but they've lost 5 games by 10 points or less, and they've lost 4 games by 1 score or less. And a few bounces of the ball, and they're maybe a 4-2, 5-1 football team. Just like we could very easily be 1-5, or we could be 5-1. And I think it's 2 pretty evenly matched teams. They have, they're a program that was 12-0 a year ago and ranked as high as I believe 12th in the country, and they've still got some tremendous talent. I really like their freshman quarterback, Kelly Page. He really is a good athlete, throws the ball extremely well. I think he'll become one of the best quarterbacks in this conference. I just hope it's not this Saturday. And the running back, Lewis, he ran for 1,700 yards a year ago. He's a weapon, and they've got a really good core of receivers. Orbson's certainly the best of the group, and he's a guy they do a lot of things to try to get the ball to. Probably maybe not to the extent that we do with Freddie, but they'll move him around and make a concerted effort to get him involved. Ball State's passing game is really well thought out. They've got a really good drop-back game, a really good play-action game. It really puts a lot of stress on the defense, the different formations they use. So it's been a very tough week of preparation for our defense. On their defensive side of the ball, I really like their front 4. They've got 2 ends that can rush the passer. They have a 3 technique that I think is very physical and knows who's active. They've got experience in the secondary. They've got some young guys in the secondary that are very athletic. And, it's probably going to come down to the fourth quarter again. And hopefully we've learned from last week and the weeks before that we can find a way to get it done.
Last week you said it's almost like a playoff mentality now, that every game is one season. Do you still carry that forward even after the win?
Yeah, and I think for our football team right now, it's probably the best way to look at every game. We can't get concerned about our record or their record. We've got to get better at things. A couple of plays cover up a lot of mistakes that we made last week. Like I said, if it's 5 seconds or 6 inches, it's a totally different feeling this week. And now we're talking about all the mistakes we made, and we still made those mistakes. We're still giving up big plays on defense. Our kicking game is still erratic. We didn't score a couple times in the red zone. We had a field goal block. So just because you win, those mistakes still happen, and we need to fix those. And that's been our focus this week. And hopefully we can continue to do things well that we are doing well, and we need to fix what we're not doing well. And again, that's every week, every season. But we need to get better.
Do you feel any difference, attitude-wise, confidence-wise, from your guys now that they've gone on the road and got one as you get ready to go?
What football is, it is such a tough sport. I always tell about players, you play baseball, you have a bad game, the doubleheader, you might have another one in 30 minutes. And in basketball, there's a game a day later or 3 days later. And in football, you put everything into it for a week, and it's just, the lows are low and the highs are highs. There's no in between. And we started out with a great high. We had a number of lows, and when you've had the September we did and had all those close games, it was a great locker room afterwards, and it does a lot for your confidence. And we've practiced. I've said this last week. We have been practicing like a good football team. But the Sunday practice had a little bit more pep to it. Yesterday had a little bit more pep to it. And when you win, that's the advantage. It helps you get some momentum, and we want to keep that going. Did that answer your question?
That's what I was looking for.
Okay,
In a
good.
good 10 to 12 second sound. That was perfect.
There you go.
If you're an opposing coach and you scouting you guys, how do you not stop Freddie Barnes? How do you not put a corner roll to safety? I mean, how do you not stop Freddie Barnes? You know you guys are going to go to him.
Yeah, but we threw the ball 63 times, and we called 70 passes, and Freddie got 22 of them, but there were a lot of other balls completed. You know, I mean, you say you double Freddie and you don't cover Justice Jones. He had 8 big catches, and how many were for third down conversions? Adrian Hodges had a good day. Chris Wright has had some good days. Certainly some of the things we're doing in the screen game with Willie Jeter has gotten him the ball in space. So, you know, I think because those guys have made plays and because those guys have stepped up, it's allowed Freddie to do what he's doing. Because there are times in the game that they did double Freddie, and at the end of the game they bracketed him. And, you know, Chris Wright, Justice Jones, Adrian Hodges, Adrian Hodges on fourth down, they were not going to let Freddie get the ball there. But that got Adrian a single matchup in man against a safety, and that was a big play. So, you know, what's being overlooked a little bit with what Freddie's doing is how well Tyler's playing. You know, half of the passes he completed didn't go to Freddie. And because you go a series or two that Freddie didn't get a ball, now they start rolling the coverage the other way, and now he gets his one-on-one. So, you know, I think the real challenge is going to be as we start spreading people out, can we run the football again? Because we really completely abandoned the running game. Now, a lot of what we do in our running game is screens. Mm-hmm. You know, so if you factor in the amount of screens to Freddie or to Willie, and if you package that together, and if you say that's how we're running the football, we look a little bit more balanced. You know, how many shovel passes did we have? Mm-hmm. You know, those are run blocking plays. Some of them are draws. So we're really blocking the run game when we run those plays, and so I think we're a little bit more balanced than our numbers indicate. But you know, I would like to see our running numbers up. But you know, Kent was defending us in a way with all the blitzes. They were not going to let us run the football. You know, they really wanted to make us one-dimensional, and fortunately enough, we threw the ball well enough to win the game.
And the truth, you don't care how many times you're throwing if you're winning the game,
I
right?
want to win. I mean, I don't care how if we get 500 yards. I don't care if it's, you know, I've always said this. I want us to be balanced, but balance doesn't mean your numbers are balanced. Balance means if teams are going to defend you in a 7-man box, you know, in 21 or 12 personnel, or if teams are going to defend you in a 6-man box in 11 or 20 personnel, that you can run the football. And in the Ohio game, the first series, they came out and they were going to defend us in 2 deep with a light box, and we ran the ball right down the field. And so I think people see that, hey, when you do empty the box on them and you double cover all these people, it's not like we lack the ability to run it. It's just people have been packing it in there. Unfortunately, we've been able to throw it so well.